What is up, boys and girls, guardians and kindergardians? Today, I have another build video for you, and this is going to be a build video on my hunter, and specifically to Shadowkeep. So this is going to be a live commentary, so if I make some commentary mistakes and I have to go back and correct it, just bear with me, I'm just doing this all in one take. So, this build is actually on Night Stalker for Shadowkeep, not the 1-2 punch build that everyone has been running for a long time. It's actually on Night Stalker. So with Shadowkeep, Way of the Pathfinder, that's bottom tree Night Stalker, got a significant quality of life update that kind of ties in with using your grenade, using your smoke bomb, and just keeping up Heart of the Pack, and just kind of like utilizing all of the everything in this kit, and it's a really cohesive, very fun experience. Um, so real quick, the first thing I want to mention about this build is what this build is for, and this build and playstyle, it's all about enhancing both your and your teammates' gunplay, movement, base stats, and just overall kind of enhancing the effectiveness of you and your team's weapons. It can work a little bit with abilities, and we'll get to that in a second, but it's mostly about just kind of an enhancement build. It also does very well at dealing with single targets with your super, and your grenades are very, very good. Now, let's actually get right down into the nitty-gritty of it. Before we go there real quick, I want to mention this build is great because it only utilizes one weapon. You can slot in anything in your kinetic slot, anything in your power slot, but the only thing that this really works well with is the energy weapon. So, jump right into it. The exotic that I'm actually using for this build is kind of unorthodox and hasn't really seen much use since its implementation in Forsaken, but that is Six Coyote. So what Six Coyote does is all it does is it gives you a second dodge charge. And at first glance, that doesn't seem like it does that much. But when you pair it with Gambler's Dodge, which allows you to instantly refresh your melee ability when dodging near an enemy, it gets a lot more value. Because Hunter melee abilities, specifically smoke bombs, have the longest base melee cooldown in the game. So if you can instantly refresh those, it's super, super duper helpful. And to utilize this even further, I have one Paragon mod, which reduces my class ability cooldown on my chest piece, and I have a second one on my gloves. You only need two to really make this feel good. So you're only utilizing two mod slots for that, which is really nice. The second part about this exotic is I am using the seasonal artifact mod Breach Refractor. Grants grenade energy on final blows with shield piercing weapons. What shield piercing means is a weapon with anti-barrier rounds. I did test this with armor piercing rounds, the magazine perk. It does not work with it. It has to be the anti-barrier rounds, which makes sense because it's tied to this season's artifact, Eye of the Gatelord. The other parts of this build don't really matter. I just kind of have some, like I have hive armaments, which is kind of whatever, it gives me heavy ammo. The only other significant part is this, Oppressive Darkness. Causing damage with void grenades adds a weaken effect to your enemies. That weaken effect is 30%. And with Shadowkeep, all the debuffs, minus in current state, at the time of recording this video, Divinity, are 30% debuffs that do not stack. So Tether, just the base Shadow Shot, what it does is it's a 30% debuff. Works the same on bottom tree, same on top tree. Hammer Strike for Titans is 30%. Shatter Strike for what's it called? Way of the Wraith. This is also 30%. Tractor Cannon is 30%. They're all 30%, including Oppressive Darkness. So you have super high uptime on one of the big things about Hunters in PvE is that weaken effect. So you have that on your grenade. And to play into that Oppressive Darkness a bit more, we're using a Grenadier SMG. So this SMG has Demolitionist on it. I say Grenadier because like that's the playstyle. You are a Grenadier. So it has Demolitionist, kills this weapon, generate grenade energy, activating your grenade ability, reloads this weapon from reserves. The reload doesn't really come into play that much. It's kind of noticeable, but you'll see what I mean, why we don't really need to worry about reload. It has Outlaw, but what I've noticed with SMGs, Outlaw feels really bad on them because they're kind of a high RPM spray weapon versus a hand cannon where it's a precision, methodical shots. Also using ricochet rounds. Ideally, I would like this magazine to be either a pended magazine for just the flat increase or a tactical magazine for the stability increase and reload speed. This doesn't really matter. Corkscrew would be nice just for the bonus handling, but again, handling doesn't really matter. It's all about demolitionist and anti-barrier rounds. Is putting in the most work for us. When we get a kill with our SMG, we get about a third of our grenade back, and it's kind of nutty. I'm just slotting in Izanagi's and Gold Tusks. I'm actually going to show this off in the Altars of Sorrow, and you can really see how it goes. So I have Sniper Finder and Sniper Scavenger. And then the other thing on my cloak is I'm using Distribution. So it reduces all my ability cooldowns when using my class ability. This really only comes into effect for Grenade and Super because we're instantly recharging our melee with Gambler's Dodge. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could actually swap this out for Dynamo and then throw on like a Biomonetizer or a Circuit Scavenger or something like that. But just, I like the all-aroundness of Distribution. But I'll finish talking about it as we load into the moon here, load into Sorrow's Harbor, show this off, and then at the end of the video, I'll go do a strike, and I'll show you what this does in a strike. Probably my favorite thing about this build is because it focuses so much around your abilities, and not necessarily like the damage that they do, but more of the uptime of them and the effects of them. You can use this in any activity. You can use this in raids. You can use this in 980 Nightfalls, Master Nightmare Hunts. Like, you can use this anywhere you want. And it's super duper good. So right off the bat, you'll see you load in with 2 dodge charges. And that's super good because what you can do when you load into an activity with all of your abilities. See, this one's just starting up. When you load into an activity with all your abilities, you can instantly start the activity at 3 stacks of Heart of the Pack. Heart of the Pack is your main bread and butter with this build. It gives you, so you see there's 1, there's 2, dodge again, and there's 3. It gives you reload speed, recovery, and mobility. Like, you see how high I jump right now? Now, when we let my Outlaw fall off, Outlaw falls off, and that's my reload speed right there. You see how fast that is? Like, that is insane. And the reason why we take 2 Paragon mods on our armor is so that you can have permanent uptime on Heart of the Pack once you get to 3 stacks. Like, you only need 1 enemy to keep Heart of the Pack up that you didn't dodge next to, and you'll keep it up. And this is what I was talking about, where Outlaw doesn't necessarily need to be on this gun, because even without Outlaw, you can still maintain a really high reload speed. And then you get a tanky enemy, you just throw your grenade, Oppressive Darkness. And this is, I'm using Gold Tusk for this, because it's actually, swords are like really slept on. Oh, whoops. Swords are really slept on in Shadowkeep, in my opinion. They're really good weapons. You see, okay, so here we died, we lost all our stacks. Watch how fast I can get them back. So you dodge, grenade, buffs my teammates because I hit them with my grenade, or with my smoke bomb, I get a bunch of my grenade back. Oh, you're just gonna, okay. Alright, fair enough. There's another enemy. Smoke bomb. And there you go. The other thing about Distribution that I didn't mention is it actually will give you part of your class ability cooldown back when you actually use your dodge. So that will actually give you some of it back. So you don't have to wait the full cooldown. And just overall, this build is super fun because it just has such a cohesive gameplay loop. Like, you're constantly using your abilities. Invisibility is super good for repositioning, especially in high-level activities. And it's just, you have so much freedom to just kind of do whatever. Like, look at my mobility right now. This is just based hop height. I'm not even using my ability jump. It's so good. And when you want to reload your weapons, it's like this. Say you want Izanagi's ×4. There you go. Like, obviously it's not Lunafaction, but it's super fast. But yeah, there you go. And that's kind of just like a quick example of how you can utilize it in just like a patrol space. Let's go do something a little bit more challenging. So what are Vanguard strikes today? Brawler Voidstones is actually going to be really good. This is obviously going to be hyper simulated because I'm gonna have my melee ability up a lot. I think I might not even need to use 6 Coyote because my melee cooldown may come back faster than 20 seconds. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave you with the rest of this gameplay. And if you'd like this video, feel free to drop a like on it. If you'd like to watch me use this build live, I stream on Twitch pretty regularly. I'll leave a link to that down in the description. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Not long ago, we detected a massive burst of Vex activity on Io, inside the Pyramidion. We need eyes in that structure, Guardian. Get moving.
There's a giant Vex sphere in this chamber, like the ones on Nessus, but colossal. And there's a door leading inside. That could very well be the Taken's objective.
Their first major offensive since the Dreaming City. Get inside that sphere. We need to know what they're after.
Zavala, this whole sphere is a dedicated processing structure. A giant Vex computational array.
What could the Taken want with a Vex computer?
The Taken want nothing.
Eris. Eavesdropping, I see.
Don't bother guessing at the Taken's intentions. Ask instead what is sought by the hand that directs them.
This blight, does it look familiar to you? Like the blight in the Dreaming City?
Savathun extends her reach at last.
Savathun. What makes you so certain?
There's no certainty where the Witch Queen is concerned. But I have strong suspicions. Above all, she seeks knowledge to inform her plans, and seeks pawns to carry them out. The sphere offers both.
There. That must be the anchor. The Taken's route into the sphere. Destroy it. We kill the Taken commander and secure the central sphere. I think the Vex can handle the rest.
Savathun is gathering her strength, Zavala. If we hope to survive what's to come, we must prepare.
We defeated Oryx. If Savathun wants a fight, she'll get one.
She is not as foolhardy as her brother. She would never risk a direct confrontation. We will know her next move only when she makes it. And only if we're wise enough to recognize it.